Welcome back to Live Life Fearlessly, the show where we ditch the excuses, crush the self-sabotage, and call out every fear-based thought that's holding you back from the life and leadership you say you want. I'm your host, Amanda Gervasi, and today's episode, this is going to be a spicy one. It's all about playing small. This world isn't waiting for your permission. This is not a hand-holding kumbaya conversation. This is the episode where I tell you the hard truth. You're not tired. You're not unworthy. You're not ready. You're underperforming your potential because you've convinced yourself that shrinking keeps you safe. Let me tell you something. Playing small may feel comfortable, but comfort is not leadership. Comfort is where dreams, they go to die. Today, we're dismantling fear-based thinking, exposing the lies you tell yourself, and building the mindset of someone who finally steps into their seat. The seat you've already earned. So let's go. All right, leaders, here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to admit. Most people aren't held back by circumstance. They're held back by self-preservation disguised as humility. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to seem arrogant, or what if people don't like how bold I am, or I don't want to rock the boat, or who am I to do this? We tell ourselves these things and they hold us back. But you need to cut the crap. If you were really worried about arrogance, your self-doubt wouldn't be screaming louder than your ambition. You just do it, right? Arrogant people don't think about these things, so you're not really arrogant, right? If you were really worried about rocking the boat, you wouldn't be secretly praying for something bigger, bolder, and more aligned. And the who am I question, that's the biggest scam you've ever sold yourself. You know exactly who you are. You're just afraid of what stepping into it might actually require. And here's the part that nobody tells you. Playing small is not noble. It's self-sabotage, people, and it costs you every damn day. Leaders lose opportunities, not because they're incapable, but because their posture says, pick someone else. Newsflash, the world is not waiting for your permission slip to take you seriously. You either rise to the occasion or you get replaced by someone with half your talent and twice your confidence. This is what matters. Yes, you need to be talented and know what you're doing, but in the end, you need to be confident in what you're doing. You need to believe in yourself, and others will believe in you too. Let's dismantle this fear-based thinking. I mean, fear doesn't walk in with a, "Hi, I'm fear" t-shirt. It's sneaky. I know. Here are the top ways fear shows up in leaders. Number one, over-apologizing. By saying, "Sorry to bother you. Sorry, is this okay? Sorry for taking up space." I know. I've been there. I tend to be an over-apologizer. I always feel like I'm bothering somebody. And it is the worst thing you can do. If you apologize every time you breathe, you start to train people to treat you like background noise because honestly, the stories just get annoying. Stop with the stories. Nobody wants to hear it unless you actually do something wrong. Number two, over-explaining. If you need 3 paragraphs to justify one decision, you don't doubt the decision, you doubt yourself. Over-explaining, people just get lost in it, and it seems like you really don't know what you're talking about, or you need to over-justify something. Be confident in your decision. Be confident in what you're telling people. Over-explaining does not sell. Less is more. Quality over quantity, all right? Number 3 is perfectionism. Yes, the fancy word we all use for procrastination. It's not perfect. I can't release it. Translation is, I'm terrified people are going to judge me. You need to stop. You've worked hard. You've done the best that you can. Let it go. It's never going to be perfect. You need to move past that, or you will never get anything done. You will never get anything accomplished. Number 4, asking for permission instead of just taking the initiative. Leaders don't ask, can I? They say, here's what we're doing. That's how you get things done. I mean, I've been in a position where when I worked at TD, people were constantly telling me this is what I should do, what I'm supposed to do. And I felt like the area that I was in was not running efficiently. People weren't fully educated in what they were supposed to be knowledgeable about. And I felt like there was a gap that needed to be bridged. And so rather than asking for permission, I created a whole training manual for all new hires so that they can be transitioned effectively into the role. There was no ask. I just took the initiative to do it. And everybody jumped right on board because it was the right thing to do. Number 5 is playing the nice girl, nice guy card. You think being agreeable protects you? No, it actually makes you invisible. Let me be clear with this. Fear masquerading as politeness will wreck your career faster than any external critic. Now, I'm not saying to go in and be mean to people or be judgmental, but it's okay to have an opinion. You don't need to say yes to everything. People want your opinion. You got hired because ideally you have a skill, you have something that should be shared with others. So give us your opinion. What are you thinking? All right. And it's okay if you don't agree, because guess what? You might have a better idea. You might have a more effective way or a more efficient way or a more creative idea. And that's fantastic. That is how you will succeed. Not by just saying yes, not by just being nice. Nice gets forgotten. Nice doesn't get you anywhere. All right. I'm going to say something very bluntly. You cannot lead with the identity of someone who's still trying to be chosen. The look at me person doesn't really get looked at, right? Leaders operate from an internal seat, not an external approval rating. Let's talk identity shifts, the real evolution, all right? Number 1, you need to shift from, I hope they like me, to, I know my value. Go in knowing your worth. Don't worry about the hoping that they're going to like you. They will, because if you are confident in your value, in the skills that you possess, then you will succeed. Okay? People-pleasing leaders burn out fastest, present the deepest, and deliver the least impact because they're just too worried about pleasing everybody rather than actually giving value. Number 2, shift from I need permission to I choose myself first. Waiting for validation is the fastest route to mediocrity. All right. You are not always going to get the you did fantastic and, the nice pat on the shoulder. Give yourself the pat on the shoulder. You're not always going to get that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not valued. Value yourself, choose yourself, validate yourself, and keep pushing forward. Number 3, we're going to shift from I'll try to I'll execute. Okay, trying is an intention. Executing is a commitment. So you need to make a commitment to yourself. There's no I'll try to do it, because you try to do it and then you kind of don't really do it and then you just let it flop and you don't do it. But if you say, I will execute this, well, now you've made a commitment to yourself. Now you have made yourself accountable to completing whatever it is you've decided to complete. Number 4, you're going to shift from I don't want to brag to I'm owning my brilliance. Let's get something straight. Owning your achievement isn't bragging. It's just data. Be proud of yourself. No one says you have to go around to every single person and tell them what you did and say how great it is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't be confident in your achievements. It's fine. Be proud of yourself. Be confident in your abilities, in your achievements. Number 5, we're going to shift from I don't want to fail to I'd rather fail than stay small. Every successful leader I know, including myself, has one thing in common. They feared staying small more than they feared failing. That's the shift here. That is the power. You can't be afraid of failing because guess what? You're probably going to fail once, twice, many times before you eventually succeed. But if you don't put in the effort, you're never going to succeed. You're just going to stay small. All right. So you need to fail sometimes to succeed. It is what it is. I mean, to get it right on the first try it happens, but it's unlikely. And that's okay. You need to be okay with that. You need to keep trying because that's how you learn. That's how you grow. And like I said, every failure brings you one step closer to success. That is where the real power lies. That is what separates you from those that are playing small to those that are truly successful. Let's talk about the apologizing for your brilliance idea that we get stuck on a lot. Okay. Here's where people just really get triggered. And I'm not sorry about it. You need to stop apologizing for being talented. Stop apologizing for being ambitious. Stop apologizing for being exceptional. You know who apologizes for their greatness? People who don't trust themselves. You know who doesn't? People who win. Ask yourself this. Why are you apologizing for qualities other people would kill to have? As a coach, I see this constantly. Top performers acting like they're lucky to be in the room. No, the room is lucky to have you. Remember that. You worked hard. You worked for your brilliance. You bled for your brilliance. You failed. You rebuilt. You screamed. You fought. You learned. You elevated for your brilliance. And you need to tell yourself that. So stop acting like it's just an accident and it just happened. You worked for it. And the only way you're going to get there is by not apologizing for it. Be confident in who you are and what you've accomplished and what you've succeeded in already and what you've learned and how you've grown and all the failures that have come along the way. Own it. Be proud of it. Stop apologizing for it. Let's look at breaking self-sabotaging patterns. Here's where we get practical. Self-sabotage isn't random. It's actually a pattern. Let's expose those patterns. Number 1, delayed decisions. If you need 3 weeks to make a decision that should take you 3 minutes, that's just fear. Make the decision and stop delaying it. You will be fine. You will get back up, even if it's not the right decision, and you will be resourceful and you will make it work. You will figure it out because you can do it. So stop. It's good to obviously reflect. You don't want to make a rash decision, but you don't need 3 weeks to make a simple decision. Number 2, shrinking in meetings. If you only speak when spoken to, congratulations, you've left leadership and you've just joined a piece of furniture. Speak up, share your opinion. There's a reason why you got hired and people want to know why you're there. So give them a reason for you to be there. Don't just sit there. I know sometimes it's easier and you don't want to ruffle any feathers. You don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to seem like you're being overly ambitious or too eager. Then don't be. But that doesn't mean that you should not be participating, that you should not be sharing your opinions, even if you're new. It's important. That's what makes you stand out because you might have that brilliant idea that nobody else was thinking of and you've kept it to yourself. All because of fear. So take a seat at the table, stand tall, and open your mouth. Contribute. Downplaying your wins is number 3. So saying things like, oh, it's nothing. I just got lucky. Stop. Own your outcomes. Stop downplaying what you worked hard for, what you've accomplished. Number 4, carrying underperformers because you're afraid to lead. This one's going to sting. If you won't hold people accountable, you're not protecting them. You're avoiding discomfort. I'm sure we've heard the saying, sink or swim, and that's what you have to do sometimes. As a leader, you can't do everything for everybody. You can't micromanage everybody. You have to let them learn. You have to show them how to be resourceful. And that is a good leader. Okay. It's coaching them so that they can be independent and resourceful and leaders in their own right. You're not helping them by doing everything for them. Because guess what? Not only are you not being a good leader, but you are not helping them be a good employee. Let them learn. Let them figure it out. They can. And if they can't, then you need to find somebody new. Ultimately, you're not helping anybody, and you're definitely not helping yourself. Number 5, needing everyone to approve your choices. If you need consensus for every move you make, guess what? You've now become a politician and not a leader. Not everyone is going to agree with you. That's okay. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the wrong move. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the right move, but that's how we learn. If you have done the proper research, the proper reflection, you've reviewed all the data, and this is the choice you are making, then go in confidently and make it work. And if it doesn't work, then you pivot and you figure out something. But you can't go in trying to please everybody because nothing will ever get done. Nothing will ever get decided. You will never move forward. All right. Let's talk about the fact that the world isn't waiting for your permission. This is your reality check. The world is spinning with or without you. Opportunities are on the move. Rules are going to fill up. Roles are constantly getting taken, and doors are going to close on you. The world isn't waiting for you to feel ready. Readiness is built in motion, not in theory. Think of every confident person you admire. You think they waited for permission? Waited for validation? For consensus? No, they didn't. They decided. Then they moved. Then the world adjusted. You need to stop trying to adjust yourself to fit the world. You need to let the world adjust to you. And, we're constantly waiting for something to fall into our laps because we're working really hard and we're really great people and we've done so much, or maybe we've been with the company for so long. And why am I constantly being overlooked? This is where you need to take the reins and build the life that you want. That means showing your worth. That means maybe leaving and doing something else that you're passionate about. I was climbing the corporate ladder within the banking world for 12 years before leaving to get into teaching, where I realized that is not the right fit for me. And I was not happy. And I left. I left to be an entrepreneur and to start my cheesecake business and now my executive coaching. And I couldn't be happier. I found what I needed to do. And there was a lot of fear involved in that. All right. But I had to stop playing small. I had to stop waiting for something to come my way because I work so hard and I have all this experience and somebody's going to see that. I need to stop waiting and I needed to start doing it. I needed to stop waiting for that permission and that validation because I felt like I constantly needed that. The people pleaser in me was, I want everybody to like me and I don't want to make a decision that is going to be the wrong one and people are going to be upset with me or not like me or judge me. And I needed to get out of my own way. I was standing in my own way. And you are standing in your own way if you are having these types of feelings, these types of thoughts. So if you want something, you need to get it, whether it's in your current career or it's in a future career. You need to put in the work. Okay. Forget about the judgment, forget about the validation. You just need to do it. You need to decide, you need to move forward. You need to adjust. And everybody else will adjust along with you. Remember that. If you take nothing else from today, take this. You playing small serves no one, not your career, not your goals, not the people that you lead, and certainly not you. Your brilliance is not optional. Your leadership is not accidental. Your potential is not negotiable. It's time to step into the seat you've already earned without apologizing, without shrinking or overthinking it. If this episode hit you in the gut, good. That means it's time. Share this with another leader who needs to wake up and rise up. I hope you found value in today's episode. Please subscribe and follow along. And until next time, live boldly, love fiercely, and for the love of God, stop playing small. Thank you for tuning in to Live Life Fearlessly. I'm your coach, Amanda Gervasi, and I look forward to seeing you soon.